Alright, what is up, everybody out there? Artist of Strong Style here. Here with my good friend Mike, and he's about to show you what?
Alright, everyone. In the age of day of BS Yu-Gi-Oh decks, I like to go a little creative style, but I actually find this deck very fun, interesting, and can actually handle even against some of the stronger decks. Probably not all of them, but you know what? It's a lot of fun. And that is the good old Kuribo deck. But this Kuribo has a little gimmick to it, so I called the Kuribo Viral deck. So let us get into the profile. Let us start off with the starting monsters here. Of course, with any Kuribo deck, you're going to start off with 3 of the OG Kuribo. Then, we're going to also go with 3 of the other OG, the Winged Kuribo. Of course, let's explain these two boss monsters' abilities here. With the Kuribo here, you can discard this card and negate any battle damage. This is the original OG card that trap monster, instead of all the other BS trap monsters now exist. Now, the Wing Kuribo, whenever this card is sent to the graveyard, you will take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Very useful and pretty way to stall out opponents, which a lot of times this deck does do. Next is probably one of my personal now favorite Kuribos, and that's Kuriborn. I love how this card is. It has 2 great effects. First effect, you just say you have a monster on the field you want to keep alive. Your opponent destroys it, you can discard this card to keep it alive. Also, at the end of the battle phase, you can banish this card and special summon as many Kuribo monsters from your graveyard as you can. So, trust me, I can flood the field in a heartbeat. And now, another one of my personal favorites, but I only run 2 in this deck, and that is 2 Relink Kuribo. This is the only Kuribo that actually has only 1 ability. Most Kuribos have 2, but this one actually only has 1. If you tribute this card, you can actually draw a card, which can come in quite handy using good old Link Kuribo. If Link Kuribo is in your graveyard, you can tribute 1 level 1 monster to bring it out, which will allow you to draw, which I have some fair combinations to make it work, so you can repeatedly do this. So I find putting 2 of this in the deck is great. Next, another 2 of Rainbow Kuribo. I really find this one to be... Not many people really like it, but I find it quite useful. When your opponent declares a direct attack against you, or I believe just attack, you can equip it to your opponent's monster and actually preventing them from actually continue battle. Also, if this card's in the graveyard, your opponent does a direct attack, you can special summon this card straight onto the field. But when this leaves the field after that, it will be banished. And now, I run only 1 of this one, and that is my last Kuribo, Sphere Kuribo. Unfortunately, I only use it for its trap monster effect mainly, which is that you can discard this card and change an attack monster to defense position. Which, its other ability is great. I always thought of the idea of making this work with Relinquish, but I haven't been able to do that as of yet, because you can banish it from the graveyard for a ritual monster. Now, a monster, I run 2 of these, that actually can really help support the Kuribo deck. And that is 2 Kinkubayos. Kinkubayo. This card cannot be special summoned. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 1 Kuribo from your deck straight onto the field. I have 2 favorite combos I like to do with this. 1, bringing back Relink Kuribo, tributing it to draw a card. Or, I like to bring back also Wing Kuribo. When Wing Kuribo special summoning in defense position, so when this card leaves the field, it'll once again be able to protect your life points from your opponent's damage. But when this card does bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn, unless it gets sent away. If it gets sent away, then it gets banished. Alright, now let's go into the boss monsters of this deck. The first 2, my old favorite of all time. Lackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Banishing 1 light and 1 dark, you can easily special summon this card onto the field to to raise massive damage to your opponent. One, you can either banish and not attack, or two, you get to do 2 attacks. Either way, a 3000 beat stick that's easy to bring out and easy to destroy your opponent's decks. Next, another great boss monster, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. Has 3 different abilities depending on what you banish. You have to banish 3 monsters in total. Either 3 lights, 3 darks, or a mixture of the 2. Mixing of the 2 is, I think, is probably the best ability. You can destroy 2 cards onto the field. If you banish all darks, you get to discard 1 card from your opponent's hand. I guess if you do this as a first turn, it can be pretty useful and helping negate some of your monster's powers. And with the light one, you forgive me, I forgot. So you can special summon one monster from your graveyard in defense position. So if you do all light, you can all special summon another monster and bring out more power. Now, this deck does have quite a bit of banishing. So for that, I put in the Chaos Creator. Same thing as like BLS, you banish a light and a dark. If you have 3 banished monsters, you return. You could choose 3 of them. 2 will return to the bottom of your deck, while 1 you can special summon back from the graveyard. This card makes it great for recycling your deck and energizing it. For example, just say you lose your Kuribo because of its removal effect. You can get Kuribo back and then reset the whole field again for massive destruction. Now, let's go into the spell cards, shall we? One of the primary cards for this deck is the card Multiply. With this here, pretty much, you tribute a Kuribo on the field. Tributing that, you can special summon as many Kuribo tokens as you can. Using that, you can do a lot of different link plays with the Kuribos. For example, just say we do happen to get a Multiply. You bring out your 5 tokens. Bring out your 5 tokens here. You can link 2 away to bring out your IP Masquerada. Link another one away to link up to your Link Kuribo. Then you can link away for a bigger 4 monster. Either Appaloosa Bow, just to give you a quick example. But doing such moves can bring out a lot of potential power within your deck. Now, let us go on to the next spell card, the Searcher of the spell card, the Flute of Summoning Kuribos. This card here can special summon or add to your hand a Kuribo or a Wing Kuribo, depending on the situation. And since it's a quick play card, you can even play this on your opponent's turn too. They'll give you a safe wall if you need it. And now, here is the surprise of the deck. I always wanted to make a deck with this card. Never been able to do it, but now I have done it. The Fang of Critias. The Fang of Critias. By tributing a trap card, you can bring out a certain trap monster. I used 2 of them in this deck. 2 different trap cards for this deck to make this card work, and I find those monsters to be devastating in the extreme against a lot of opponents of today's meta. Now, another good searching for the boss monsters of this deck is the Chaos Space. Pretty much what you have to do for this card is you can discard a light or a dark. Then you can add 1 monster that cannot be normal summoned from your deck to your hand. That is the opposite type as the one you send to the graveyard. So you send a Kuribo, you can add your Blackluster Soldier. If you send Wing Kuribo, you can add your Chaos Creator. Either way, you get great search. And since you're playing so many level 1s, of course you've got to put in 1 for 1. Don't think I have to explain this one. Discard 1 card and special summon 1 level 1 monster. Oh, discard a monster card, excuse me. Then, Instant Fusion. I only use 1 target for this card, but I do find it quite useful in this deck since it's a level 1 monster, and that's my good old favorite monster, Thousand Eyes Restrict. Next, we got the trap cards. In this deck, I run 6 trap cards, 3 Mirror Forces, and 3 Crush Card Viruses. Now, I use this card in tandem just for their own effects, as well as mixing it with the Fang of Critias. The Fang of Critias' effect is sending one of these from your hand or on the field to the graveyard with this card to special summon from the extra deck, which I run 2 of, by the way, of each one, 2 Mirror Force Dragons. Mirror Force Dragon, I have to love this card. Whenever your opponent declares an attack against any of your monsters, destroy all your opponent's cards on the field. That's a complete floor wipe. Also, if this card is targeted by your cards are targeted by targeting effects, wipe out their field as well. This is a great way to clean up fields and do some massive destruction. Then, the other card, Doom Virus Dragon. This does the OG effect of the Crush Card Virus. Pretty much, when he lands on the field, destroy all level with monsters with 1500 attack or higher on your opponent's field and hand. And for the next 3 turns, plus you get to see their hand so you understand what you're going up against. Then, for the next 3 turns, the next 3 cards they draw for each turn, they have to reveal it to you. And if it's a monster with 1500 attack or more, instantly goes to the graveyard. Now, my last fusion monster for this deck, Thousand Eyes Restrict. I use this with the instant fusion, using it to absorb one of my opponent's monsters, and then I'll just link it away. Using that to get rid of my opponent's monsters and to bring out a field that can help protect. Now, let's get on to the main beef to this deck, the good old links, with my personal favorite link, Link Kuribo. Link Kuribo. Only thing it requires is a level 1 monster to link away to bring it out. Also, if this card is in the graveyard, you contribute a level 1 monster to special summon it instantly onto the field again, giving you more plays and giving you more options. And mixing it with like Link Kuribo, you can draw cards and also stall your opponent. For when your opponent declares an attack, you contribute this card and makes the monster attack 0. Next, Relinquish Anima, pretty much used to absorb your opponent's monsters once again. Then, I like to run 2 IP Masqueradas, which require 2 non-link monsters to bring out. Pretty easy to bring out, especially when you're using Multiply and tokens. But also, when this guy is linked away with another monster, it can make that monster immune to destruction effects. I find that very useful, especially against today's metas. Now, another 2. Nightmare Phoenix, of course it pops spell or trap cards. Now for the big boss monsters. Appaloosa, Bow the Goddess. This can allow for multiple negates on your opponent's effects. Use this on a first turn, you can stop a lot of monster effects right away, especially since today's meta requires so much monster effects. For destruction, Unchain Abomination. And then the last one, Borrowload Dragon. And that is my deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, the way of the Kuribo is the way. Thank you so much for your time. Please comment and subscribe. Tell a friend. And come back to us soon.
Alright, so there you have it. That was Mike. So, as he said, hope y'all enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe. Show you more deck profiles later. He is also our Dungeon Master for what game?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, our other friend is Tise, who is also Dungeons and Dragons Master. So we play 2 games. So we're going through his game and Mike's game. So whatever comes down to it, and we are playing not just Yu-Gi-Oh, we are playing other card games as well. So I will speak to y'all later. Peace.